fate. Mel's in the shirt, Arthur's never late. It's Aloha Tuesday, enjoy the sun. Let's start the show and have some fun. Aloha Tuesday, Aloha Tuesday, Aloha Tuesday. It's Aloha Tuesday.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and Arthur couldn't be here tonight because he had something that was already prearranged he had to do, but he'll be back next week. But I asked Shari to fill in, so it's Aloha Tuesday with the one, the only Ragin' Cajun.
Thank you very much. I am happy to be here. It feels weird being on camera when I'm used to being behind camera with y'all.
Yeah, we did a show last night as well.
Yeah, we did Draining the Swamp last night, and looks like we'll be doing another show Friday night.
Yes,
the other side of the coin. So I'm going to get back to Colleen after this show is over, so we can lock up all the deets on it.
I didn't really get all monies from tonight's show will be donated to Chicago Youth Group. They do a lot to bring food to underprivileged, but to our Latinos and brothers and sisters who are fearful to go out because they're fearful of being busted or caught by ICE or taken out of schools and things like that. So we've already raised like $300, and I talked to my friend Martha, and she said that they were able to buy groceries for over 50 or 60 families. So yay. So that's for the money.
Tapioca Thievery says, yay, Shari and Mel 2 days in a row.
Okay, so
you
here
might get sick of us. And it looks like we got our Kevins in the house too. So
hey, Kevin, Kevin I'll be on. We'll do a show together on Thursday, and we've got an event coming up in Gettysburg, so we'll talk about that. But thank you, Henry Naylor, for $2. Thank you. So, Shari, what do you have going, my dear?
Well, tomorrow night is Sisters of the Mystical Tarot with Val and Marina and Allie and I. And we usually just we discuss a topic. And if somebody posts a question in advance, then, there's a good chance we're going to read on a question or two. But mostly it's just we pick a topic and then we all kind of, it's Val's night tomorrow night, so we'll all have homework to get ready for it because she always comes up with really great topics. And then Thursday night is Golden Girls with Marina, Cleo, and Judy. And then Friday afternoon, I'm doing a live stream with Diane G., who is just an absolute sweetheart. I just adore her. And she does Akashic readings and clearings and stuff. And I love it. She has, instead of like a regular pendulum or something you would clear with, she's got a Thor's hammer. And she twirls that instead. So for our next show coming up this week, I went and bought me a Captain America one. I told her that we're going to be the Avengers for the psychics, the Psychic Avengers team. And there's other stuff coming up. Sylvia, a bit intuitive on Saturday, and and the slumber party with Ramon, which I always look forward to. He's an absolute darling, and love him to death. And that's about it for me. What you got cooking?
Well, we've got something coming up on Friday. Again, did you mention that?
I think I forgot. That was the other side of the coin with Colleen, the cool crone.
Yes, and Sherry and myself. Um, and
And
we'll
we'll,
surprise you all with a topic. And what we do is we look at both sides of the coin, uh, and we just try to give all sides. Um, it's not going to be political, all right? It'll be fun. um,
yeah, it usually is. It's usually a good topic that, we all take turns picking topics. We just haven't done it in a while. We had started it up, and then Mel got sick, and then somebody else got sick, and then Mel was traveling, and then someone else was traveling, and it kind of went on the back burner for a while. So we just figured the holidays were coming, so we just decided, well, we'll wait till after the holidays. And
everybody,
then,
if you have a question, please put it in all caps.
please,
Okay.
please, please. I'm
So
blind enough as it is.
um, the only reason that we ask for all caps is because it's easier for us to see them. All right.
Because y'all, I walk into the walls without my glasses on, and so
Um,
even with glasses, I have trouble sometimes.
tonight's questions are not personal. Tonight's questions are national and international and world events. So we're not doing personal questions. Okay. Um, so um, let me think. What do I have coming up here? Well, Friday, the other side of the coin. Mondays with Linda. Thursday with Kevin. Um, Also, I have one opening left for the Danube, just one. And if you're interested, get in touch with me as soon as possible. Uh, Danube River Cruise, Prague, Budapest, May 10th through the 20th, 2026. One opening. I'll put you in the roommate as a roommate with someone. Um, and then it's sold out. I do have openings, and it's starting to sell really quickly for Iceland. And Iceland is we're going to take a look at the eclipse, which is, I think the totality is going
I
to.
have an Iceland thing.
So we leave August the 8th. We'll see the eclipse on the 12th. And I think it's about a minute and a half totality. And then September the 8th, the Iceland trip is 7 days. From the 15th, we go to the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador. We fly from here, United States, to Quito, Ecuador. We will tour Quito. It's around 9 or 10,000 feet, but we're there overnight. You might get a little dizzy, but from the altitude, I think you'll be fine. I know you'll be fine. And then we get on an airplane and we go to catch the boat. We get on the boat and we sail to 4 or 5 of the Galapagos Islands. We'll do some snorkeling. You don't have to if you don't want to. We'll have some wet landings. We'll be on the Zodiacs. They'll pull us right up to the beach, and we can get out in our flip flops and our swimming trunks, and be able to see the Galapagos tortoises and the
That
iguanas
would be cool.
and the seals and all kinds of good stuff. It's going to be incredible. Those were the islands that helped Darwin with his theory of evolution and natural selection. So,
As someone who collects turtles, that's the coolest thing is to go see these turtles. That would be
they're
so
amazing.
awesome. Um,
I saw them in Hawaii. They're smaller, but these are the huge, gigantic turtles.
my late husband's nickname was Turtle. That he got back when he was in high school and played football. Because when he put all the football gear on, it looked like he didn't have a neck. And so everybody would tease him that he looked like a turtle, and the name just kind of stuck. And so his family didn't call him that, but we did. That's how I was introduced to him as. And my mom was the one that started the trend of buying him a turtle for his birthday one year. She was out in New Mexico visiting her sister, and they went to one of the reservations, and she bought this little ceramic turtle about this big that was all white, and it had a blessing painted on the back. And she thought, oh, that's perfect for a birthday present. His birthday was coming up, so she bought it. And he just flipped over that she bought him a turtle, and it just kind of stuck. And every holiday was this mad dash of trying to find a different and unique turtle. I've got boxes of turtle shell. I got more turtles than I know what to do with.
They can live a very long time. So it's going to be interesting to see that. And in fact, I have to look at my desk here. I I saw a couple people going to Iceland today, a couple more, and a couple more going to the Galapagos. So my goal is to get 21 or 22 people for Iceland and 21 or 22 people for the Galapagos. And
Oh, you're gonna get it.
well, they sell out really quickly, and Mayflower opens it up to other salespeople as well. So that's why I tell people you gotta get busy, and otherwise they sell out like that. In 2027, I'm thinking of a cruise on the Mekong River in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. It's supposed to be incredible. And I'm thinking also South Africa. So we shall see. Or maybe a cruise on the Rhone River or the Douro in Portugal. So I'm still working out the logistics for 2027. So
There you go. Maybe I'll have a passport by then.
there you go.
And I can go too. So
Well, I've got to renew mine. But we just got this super sticker. Thank you so very, very much, Susan. That's so kind. That'll buy food for a lot of people.
yes.
So here again, and I'm just, some people are making comments that I like, so I'm putting those up. But here again, please put them in all caps. Here's somebody, a super sticker that says
Me. Like that.
$20. I'm sure this helped a little bit. Okay. People are asking about Sasha Riley. I don't know anything about it, but we will look into it and let you know. I just don't know anything about it, so therefore I don't feel qualified to make a comment on it. But when we find out, we'll let you know. I also want to say thank you to my Spanish teacher, Emmanuel, in Mexico. He's a phenomenal teacher. And right before the show tonight, I had my Spanish class. And I will bring you information on him so that if you're interested in signing up for a Spanish class, I would say take his classes. He's a wonderful young man and a phenomenal teacher. So, Emmanuel, if you're watching, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
Buenas noches. I know that one. I know this one. ¿Dónde es baño? I figure that's the most important question I need to know.
¿Dónde es el baño?
¿Dónde es baño? Where's the bathroom? That's all I care about. Yeah, where are they going to get it with my Cajun accent?
No, it's ¿dónde es el baño?
¿Dónde es baño?
¿Dónde es el baño?
Yes, yeah, yes.
Okay. Mark Brisebois, I think. Free America Walkout, January the 20th. So, while I'm going to put,
They're asking everybody to walk off their jobs on January 20th at 2 p.m.
Okay. Well,
And so
what day does that fall on?
January 20th is a Tuesday.
There you go. Okay.
The day after Martin Luther King Day.
Let me get to some of the starred ones here. Well, and Shari, I'll here. Okay, please put them in all caps, though. Grace Gilbert. Hello, Grace Gilbert. Question. Do we need to be concerned with Steve Miller's comment about justice in 10 days? Yes, we do.
We need to be concerned about anything that comes out of this man's mouth. He's dangerous.
Absolutely.
Just hands down, he makes the mafia look like goody two shoes. This man is evil on a level of evil I've never seen before. He scares me.
I
He
think,
really does. For
you know,
entertainment purposes only, you do.
we talked
It's just
about
my
this a little
opinion.
bit last night that, when the court said Trump can't send the National Guards to our cities and states because he says, oh, there's violent crime and blah, blah, blah. The court said, oh, no, can't do that. So now what he's doing, he's sending ICE, and he's made ICE this almost paramilitary organization.
Yeah.
And so therefore I can say to the courts, oh no, they're just law enforcement. They're just rounding up people who are here illegally. They're rounding up anybody
Anybody and everybody.
without due process. Or even if you stand up for your rights or look at them the wrong way, they're just nabbing you up for no apparent reason and detaining people and sending many off to concentration camps. That is
Yeah.
unconstitutional. And I see all these states filing lawsuits. I see it going as high as the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will tell them to cease and desist. So I think Steve Miller's got something up his sleeve in
Oh,
about a week
absolutely.
with the ICE and the protest. And also I think he's got something up his sleeve about Iraq going
Yeah.
into
Or
Iraq.
Iran.
I'm sorry, Iran.
Iran, yeah.
Talked about
Uh,
last night. The Iranian thing just fries me because, Trump, oh, those people there, they're protesting. Look what the government's doing to the protesters. Oh, well, Donald, what are you doing to the people here who are protesting? You're shooting us and killing us. The whole Iran thing, it's just a diversion to take people's attention away, I think, from the Epstein files and from Jack Smith's testimony. And I think the whole Greenland thing is atrocious. It's one NATO country going after another. And I think that there's some billionaire Donald Trump friends who are pushing him to do this. So,
yeah.
because they want the minerals, they want the money, and so does Trump.
Yeah.
That's what I pick up.
I pulled a couple of cards just because I was curious.
Yep.
I got one, developing now, in motion. So all of this stuff is happening as we're speaking. It's just they're steadily pushing on. But I got liberation prevails. So that tells me that the good guys win, y'all. We may have a couple more really ugly fights to get through, but in the end, the Avengers win. So, hang on to that.
Okay. Oh, somebody says, and this is Crystal Blue Persuasion. Remember that song?
Yes.
Hello, Crystal Blue Persuasion. Hi, papers for Noam impeachment today. My guys have been telling me she's going to be impeached. I don't know if these papers will go very far, but in the future there will be impeachment, and she's going to end up in jail. What do you think, Sherry?
Yeah, she has pretty much cooked her own goose. She did an interview with Jake Tapper over the weekend that was horrendous. I mean, even he was shocked at the level of just dumb blankery that she was trying to pull off. And he pushed back on her pretty hard. And Jake Tapper is usually really, really easy on the Republicans, but he actually started pushing back and was getting very frustrated with her. I didn't see the whole interview because I don't like either person, but I did catch several clips from the show. And evidently, she's made several comments since Renee
Good.
Good. Thank you. I went blank on her last name. Since Renee Good was murdered, she's made several comments that have uh, uh, really kind of like, open mouth, insert foot kind of thing. So she's kind of blowing up her own deal there.
Everybody, I would say, watch the movie Judgment at Nuremberg. There's a new one out about Nuremberg, but that was about Hermann Goering. Hermann Goering was second in line to Hitler. But Judgment at Nuremberg is more about the one. There were many different Nuremberg trials. They just, it just wasn't one. But Judgment at Nuremberg in 1961 is about the judges, the Nazi judges that went on trial. And Burt Lancaster played as a Nazi judge. He was brilliant. Maximilian Schell was young, and he won an Academy Award. Judy Garland, Montgomery Clift. It's an all-star cast. But, some of these judges were very learned people before, Hitler came to power. And it was like, how did they get so corrupt by the system? And there's this very poignant line at the very end when one of the judges of the tribunal goes to meet with, I can't think of the judge's name, that, oh, wow, thank you so much, Anne. Oh, boy, we're going to be able to feed a lot of people, so thank you. But anyway, this judge said, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. He said, I didn't go along with what Hitler did. And one of the judges on the tribunal, Spencer Tracy, looked at Burt Lancaster and said, he said, how did the Burt Lancaster's character, who was a big judge in Nazi Germany, he said, how did this went too far? How did this start? And Spencer Tracy's reply was, it went too far when you sentenced the first innocent man to death because you were going along with the regime.
That's right.
And that's what reminds
exactly
me
right.
of Noam. She just wants power and control. And she's always been a cruel person. She shot a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. For no
She
other
shot a puppy because he wasn't trained fast enough for her.
correct. And she shot.
So not even a full-grown dog, but a damn puppy who's still in the learning phases.
She shot the family goat because it was old and smelly.
One of the things that the Nuremberg trials brought to nations everywhere that have tried to run a democratic or democratically led type government was the fact that it doesn't matter what you were ordered to do. If it was morally, ethically, and legally wrong for you to do it, and you did it anyway because you were just following orders, that doesn't cut you no slack. You're still guilty.
The same thing that happened then in Nazi Germany is going on now. We have, the government vilifying innocent people and telling us we can't believe our own eyes, and a lot of these judges kept saying they didn't know, but they did know.
Yeah.
I think it's our judicial in this country that'll save us. But I see Supreme Court justices in this country being impeached.
Yes.
Kristi Noem is going to be held responsible for her behavior, and she's going to say she didn't do anything wrong. And she's trying to convince the American people that this wholesale roundup of our Latino brothers and sisters and some of our African American brothers and sisters and our LGBTQ brothers and sisters and sending them to concentration camps is okay under the guise that they're criminals and they have done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Most of them have absolutely, I would say 97% of them have no criminal records whatsoever.
Most of them live a more upstanding, moral, ethical lives than the so-called extreme right Christian nationalist people do.
Or than the so-called people that are the ICE agents who are murdering innocent people.
Exactly. Thank you, Anne.
No. Thank you so much.
Another $50 super sticker for you.
I'm glad the papers for impeachment came down.
Yeah.
Trump is nervous about the midterms. Oh, we've got to take the midterms because if not, the Democrats will impeach me. I don't see him finishing his term in office. This is a good one. Speaking of the Nuremberg trials, Jackie Frazier, hi y'all. Do you see? Do you do you see having a Nazi flag being a federal offense in the future, along with certain organizations being a domestic terrorist group? I do see certain ultra right wing organizations and certain ultra left organizations being terrorist groups. As far as putting a
I,
flag, you can't incite a riot and you can't use it to incite hate. Um,
I have actually seen the Confederate flag um, made into, I mean, it's already pretty much, except for diehards, it's been pretty much, gone away with. But I see it becoming a symbol as, for a terrorist
uh,
group. And I'm born and raised in the deep south. I mean, I've seen that flag flown all over the doggone place all my life, still do to this day, and never really thought anything about it until I got to be an adult and realized what it really meant to others that weren't Southern white people.
well, I think it's going to
You
be a
know,
question for the courts to answer, like what is freedom of speech and freedom of expression versus inciting
right?
hatred. And I think a lot of American people are just going to say, no, uh, we we do not want bigotry and hatred. That's not what this country is about.
No, I
Um,
mean, and the beauty of our Constitution and what the founding fathers wrote in it and wrote about it was the fact that they knew it was not perfect. And they knew that as times changed and society changed, that the Constitution would have to change with those times. And so that's why they designed it the way they did, so that it would be a living document designed to be able to change and incorporate what is, as society grows and learns better, then it can change and become a better um, foundation for us to follow. And there are, I mean, there are a lot of countries that have had wonderful doctrine to live by, but it didn't allow for the people to grow and change as the times grew and changed. Um, and that's one of the strengths I think we have with
yes.
our founding documents is the fact that they can be adjusted to accommodate us as society changes. Y'all, I'm sorry. I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer tonight. I had to go get diagnostic testing on my lunch break today, and I don't know who breathed on me while I was there, but I've been sneezing my brains out ever since I got home, got back from the from the clinic. So everybody at work had to listen to me blow my nose or sneeze all day long, and now it's my nose is all red and raw.
Something's going around. I think you probably had what I had at Christmas, and next it kind of give you a sore throat, then it kind of settles in the lungs, and but just take lots of rest, lots of water.
Yeah,
And
several people at work got sick just before the holidays. That
everybody sends Sherry healing energy. T. Lynn says, will inflation be reined in soon? Saw a news report that personal bankruptcies and auto repos are the highest since 2003. And my psychic light bulb just went on, T. Lynn. Um, I have a feeling that Trump is going to try to mess with the bankruptcy laws to make it harder for people to go bankrupt. And that's just going to screw the economy even more. Um, I
Well,
see.
that's what W did back in the early 2000s when he changed it where you couldn't claim student debt for those that were drowning in student debt.
Right.
could no longer have it on your bankruptcy, and it was a lot harder to put medical debt on there as well.
And
So,
I see also, um, prices continuing to rise, inflation getting higher. Trump is doing all this stuff to wag the dog, but he's making very unpopular decisions. He's trying to do stuff to make people, to divert attention over here away from stuff that's going on here at home, uh, to win over the midterms. Uh, he tells people the economy is wonderful. We are in inflation. We're headed for a recession. We got high grocery bills. Bankruptcies are sky high. Auto repos. And he's not going to do anything to rein in inflation. He'll just keep coming up with stuff to wag the dog, to divert the attention here, to mask the dysfunction that he's creating here at home. But I see him gone. I do not see him finishing his full term in office, and nor do I see JD Vance. I mean, Republicans are already standing up against him, and it's just that trend is going to snowball. We'd already predicted we see people protesting, with the No Kings Day, and we said that, there's going to be a lot more protests, massive protest. And I see a lot more protests. Trump's going to try to make them violent so he can try martial law, but that's going to blow up in his face too. So, Lynn, I wish I had better news about the economy. Unemployment sky high, because look at how he's dismantled departments in the government.
and was it last week that the new jobs reports and everything came out, and it was the worst one that we've had in like almost a decade, I think they said. It was less than 50,000 new jobs created.
Correct. Oh yeah, it's gonna get worse, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um,
And it's just as bad to be underemployed than it is to be unemployed. So, what's it going to do? Count jobs, with flipping burgers or something? But, and I see the unemployment rate continuing to go higher.
oh yeah.
I'm seeing there's going to be like another big flu epidemic, but they're not going to report it. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening. I mean, just numerous things that he's going to pull. I'm thinking the Congress is telling him don't go near Iceland, but I think he's got people like Miller whispering in his ear, go for it because you have immunity. But I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm getting that funny feeling that the Supreme Court's getting ready to yank that rug out from under his feet.
I see them
And
hard and fast.
yeah, and it really gave me a ray of hope the other day when I discovered that it wasn't just the Democratic senators that walked out of a session over over his new war plans bill he was trying to get pushed through, but that something like over 20 Republicans got up and joined them and they walked out. So they weren't able to bring it to the floor for discussion or anything in the Senate because, more than 2/3 of them left. And it's like, when that happens, you shut things down. And that gave me a little bit of hope that there were that many Republicans joining them, not just one or two.
My
But-
psychic light bulb just went on, and I see even more Republicans alike walking out
Yeah.
in mass. It's going to be in mass. You haven't seen
Yeah.
anything yet. And I see
Yeah.
Mike Johnson removed as Speaker of the House before the midterms. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think
I've
it's
been seeing the same thing. I've been getting that when I've been doing card draws. I've been seeing it when I've been trying to do some of my scrying stuff. And it just like, I mean, he's from my state. So it's like, he gets booted from being speaker, then we got to deal with the cleanup down here. But I mean, already a MAGA state with MAGA government, MAGA governor, and it's getting rough down here.
well, the governor down there in Louisiana is going to face his Waterloo as well. But
Yeah.
Johnson, I think as we speak, my light bulb went on that there are Republicans and Democrats working to start a petition to have him removed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Um,
Todd Brown says, "Hi, Todd. Greetings all from Michigan's frigid shores." Yeah, right. Hope y'all are thriving. Orange Menace was here today. Didn't like the marches. I just put that up because people are keeping us abreast of what's going on. Sasha Riley evidence is disturbing. And Grace Gilbert put up, Todd Brown, I think Sasha Riley's story needs more attention. I've been screaming from the rafters forever. It seems we have to talk about the boys. We will discuss it. I just don't know enough about it right now to discuss it. But
I just would feel more comfortable because when you're dealing about child trafficking and
we have to be careful what we
to
say.
go with that, I mean, until I see said person online in my face telling me this was me and this is what happened, then it gives us the freedom of being able to ethically read on that particular situation. I I'm not comfortable with reading on something that could be considered detrimental or harmful to the person, even if they're an adult now.
Correct.
It's still that's as a survivor of sexual assault, that is just something that it's difficult to talk about. It's difficult to admit. It's difficult to get in front of people and say, yes, I was a victim. Um, and I don't discuss it very often because it still brings really difficult emotions up in me. Um, but at the same time, when I can see somebody that's standing up and they're admitting it, they're talking about it, they're saying this was me, this is what happened, then that kind of gives me the freedom to, okay, I can do a reading on this, because that's like they're giving permission for people to look at their life and what is going on. And until I can see that, I'm not comfortable. That's just the way I look at it. Not everybody looks at it the same
Plus,
way.
we have to be careful what we say on YouTube as well.
Exactly, because YouTube will yank you so fast. It's not either one of us. I mean, we'll all be gone if we're not careful.
I think we have to be responsible about what we say as well. But I just don't know
Well-
enough about it to comment, but I will do some research on it. Okay. Laura in Austin says tech billionaires like certain people have already invested millions into Greenland to take over the minerals and start mining. That is why Trump is pushing it. I'm worried Trump will get some land. That's a question. Well, number one, it's reminiscent of when Hitler broke his non-aggression pact that he had with the Soviet Union in World War II. And I think he got to Stalingrad, but he underestimated the winter. And it was a brutal winter. It gets brutal in Russia. And because of that, he had to retreat. And he was about to win, but he lost because of the winter. My feeling is that Trump and his cronies, even if they try to invest money into Greenland, getting the equipment to work, getting everything to work when it's that cold, and it is cold. There's only certain people on the coast around Greenland. The inland part of Greenland, it's just too cold to do anything. It's Arctic. And my feeling is that that's also going to defeat a lot of people who think that they're going to go there and take over Greenland and rape Greenland's land.
You got another thing coming. Well, I pulled 2 cards on this particular topic. It just Spirit said draw them. I got global impact affects many, and my phone's going to decide to go off right this minute.
Mine always does.
And then I got covert corruption.
Right.
So there you go. I mean, both of them right there is telling us
And here again,
exactly.
Grace says, besides the minerals, I'm concerned about how extracting them will affect the ice and global warming.
Yeah,
Trump and his cronies don't care anything about global warming.
no,
They don't care about constituents.
they don't
All they
believe in it.
want is to line their own pockets. And I'm going to tell you something. The Danish people, Denmark, and the European Union, and a lot of other countries will fight back. Trump thinks that him going into Greenland and him giving Greenlanders $100,000 a piece is going to appease them. It will not. So basically, what he's saying to them, I'll pay you 100,000. You secede from Denmark, and that's all you're going to get. They're not going to share in that wealth, and he
No,
thinks he's going to make it a 51st state. I don't see that. And we're a NATO country, and Greenland is controlled by
the
Denmark,
NATO, yeah,
NATO
which is the
country.
NATO.
So one NATO country going against another, that is whoa. Uh, that's why we have the treaty, is that we're supposed to all work together and not go against each other. If he does that, I see countries like France, Germany, Spain, all the NATO countries are going to tell him, you cannot do it. And NATO, I think, might even send in peacekeeping forces to try to keep Trump out. So,
England's already doing it.
yeah, bingo.
King Charles already said, yeah, no. And their prime minister, and I don't remember the prime minister's name currently, they're like, yeah, they're already sending British troops over to Greenland to protect them.
Well,
Um,
as we speak, behind the scenes, Trump and his cronies are planning some sort of almost invasion or something of Greenland.
yeah,
And then he's going to try Cuba. Well, that's not going to fly very well either.
yeah,
So,
we tried that one once before. It didn't go over too well.
well, he's doing all this so he can create a war and call himself a wartime president, because he wants to control pretty much the Western world or all of the world, and it's not going to happen. So, I mean, all right. Dehydrated water cell. I love that name.
Isn't that a great name?
Some people seem to think peaceful demonstrations are over. They are not. That's my psychic take. They are not.
No.
The feds are also gearing up to prosecute Renee Good's wife. Let them prosecute her, because
For what?
that's going to be more of a battle cry to say prosecute her for what? It's unconstitutional. The Constitution gives us the right to speak up against the government without fear of reprisal or reprisal from the government.
What are they going to prosecute her for? Being a passenger?
Probably for interfering with an investigation, probably obstructing investigation. They might try domestic terrorism, but that's not going to stick. If they prosecute her, the courts will throw it out, and courts will say you could no longer retaliate against people because they've spoken up against ICE and because they've spoken up against the regime. Um,
Yeah.
you know, she also says dehydrated water cell says, I hate to think this will happen, but will there be violence? The only violence that's going to happen will be the violence that Trump's thugs create, and then blame the people that are exercising their right to peaceful assembly. Who was a domestic terrorist in this case of Renee Good? The guy, she wasn't trying to run over him. She was going the opposite way.
She was following directions.
He wasn't even standing in front of her vehicle. When she started to go that way, her wheel was turned that way. He was standing here. He walked up and shot her. And then after the car took off on its own because she was dead, he called her an effing biatch. So, no.
Yeah.
You
Um,
know, this is not gonna go well with states or the courts, and a lot of states are gonna pass legislation that law enforcement officials cannot wear masks to hide their identity, and start arresting some of these ICE agents for brutality.
yeah,
It's going to be a clash between the states and the federal government. Trump wants us to be in a civil war. He
yeah.
does
My
because
biggest concern, I'm sorry, go ahead.
because that would give him control. But go ahead, Sherry.
I was going to say, my biggest concern is I got a flash the other night where uh, I literally saw like agents going into homes to take guns, or just busting down doors and getting met with full on fire from whoever lives there. Because you're talking about, especially as you start moving into hill country and down here in the South, where everybody and their brother is locked and loaded and armed to the teeth. And that's what worries me is if they start these kind of raids that they're going to get met firepower to firepower. And it, I, like I said, I got a flash the other night, but it wasn't one of the ones I get where it's like, this is definitely going to happen. It was more like, this is a possibility of it happening. So it's important that we tell people you gotta stay calm. You can't retaliate. You can't.
Trump wants
They're
that.
trying to push it. Yeah, that's what they're pushing
He
for.
wants to incite a civil war. That's what he
Yeah,
wants. So he can stay in control. It's not going to work. I think we're already in the bloodless civil war, but a lot of people, Republicans alike, are standing up against him. So, and many more will. Um, all right. Uh, Oh My Spencer says, Mel, do you and Sherry feel the Chicago surgeon Michael McKee that was arrested on Saturday for the two murders in Ohio is guilty? I'm not going to say whether somebody is guilty or innocent in a case like this.
I don't know anything about this one.
I will say that I feel comfortable. Psychically, I feel comfortable that the person of question that the police have in custody, I feel comfortable with the police's decision. I'll put it that way.
There you go. I know nothing about this person or what the arrest was for, so I'm gonna step over that one and leave that one up to Mel.
Tina in Mexico says, I'm a gringa. A gringa means, somebody who is actually, it means just, if you're in Mexico and they say gringo or gringa, which is feminine, it just means a foreigner. She said, but she was raised in San Diego. She's going to visit her oldest son for his birthday in April. Going to U.S. and coming straight back here to Mexico, nice and safe here. And Tina, you'll be able to get in the country, United States, and out with no problem. But Trump is talking about going after Mexico. What I see happening is a coalition of South American governments getting together, almost like the European Union, to saying no, 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 no. We're all joining the South American Union, this Latino union, to protect our countries from tyrants like Donald Trump. And so if he can talk about going after Mexico, but Mexico would have a lot of Central America and Latin America, maybe with the exception of El Salvador, on their side. So you're safe in Mexico, Tina.
A lot of people have been posting about this. Did y'all see the video today where 45 flipped off through a bird at a Ford worker because the Ford worker called him a pedo protector?
Here's the deal.
I mean,
how presidential is that? Come on.
Yeah.
Rather than ignore the comment, or rather than say, quite frankly, you don't know what you're talking about, or just something. So what does he do? He flips somebody off. How
Well,
mature is that? That just shows that Donald Trump has the maturity of a chickpea, and that's an insult to a chickpea.
yeah, and just imagine if President Obama had flipped off everybody that hollered really ugly things to him from the moment he stepped up saying, I'm running for president of the United States, until he left. Oh, even still to this day, they still yell it out at him. The man would have been walking around perpetually with remove a few fingers here,
Little finger.
you know, because it was constant. And for them to want to, nobody's attacked him like Trump's getting attacked. It's like, were you not here when Obama was president, especially when he was running the first time for his before he got elected the first time? It was like, oh my God, I had never seen such ugliness in people come out as I did when he got elected and won. I mean, I remember that night. My mother and I were sitting up watching it, holding our breath, waiting, praying that he was going to win. And when he won, she and I both were jumping up and down and screaming at the top of our lungs. And then we both sat on the couch and started sobbing because it was like we never thought we would see the day that
Exactly.
a black man would become president of this country.
I
And
remember
such
growing
an
up.
ethical and intelligent man.
I remember growing up in the South and seeing signs that said whites only, and it was wrong then, and
Yes.
it's wrong now. It's just wrong on so many levels. You know,
You had
the reason people didn't like Barack Obama is because he was part African American. I don't care what somebody is, as long as they're a decent human being and a good leader, and cares about the good of the constituents, and is cares about the common good of the American people. Donald Trump cares about his own pocketbook and his own power. He would throw his own mother under a bus, as evidenced by the people he's thrown under a bus.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's the lack of morality and ethics
and accountability.
and accountability. Yes, that the Republican Party and those on the Christian right have devolved to. That I'm at the point now when I hear one of them start to say something about something being not correct or whatever, all I can do is look at him and go, really? You think you have room to complain about someone else's ethics as opposed to how you've been behaving? I mean,
It's the
I
hypocrisy.
literally cut myself off from just about every close friend. And at the time I was still an active churchgoer, I literally walked away from the church because of what happened in 2008 when President Obama got elected. I was so offended by people that I thought were honest, moral, ethical people, and the responses that they had to him running, to me working on his campaign. Oh my God, the things that they said to me, the names that they called me for that, it was like, I don't want nothing to do with you people anymore, and it was very difficult to just cut those ties and walk away. But it was the best decision I ever made to do it because
Jolyn says
that's what opened me up
to
to
your other stuff.
to everything else. Yeah.
Jolyn says, Aloha, so good to see Auntie Mel and Shari this evening, and I hope you both realize how accurate your predictions are. Love you both. Oh, thanks,
Oh,
Jolyn.
thank you, Jolene.
Nice to hear. I want to touch on this really quick. Laura in Austin again says, and Trump is offering to give each Greenlander 100,000 to give them the rights. In other words, to sell the rights to Trump. I'm worried they'll go for it. It reminds me when Elon
I don't
Musk
think
put
they
all
will.
that money to elect that his pick for Supreme Court judge in Wisconsin, and the person didn't win. So they can offer to give the Greenlanders each $100,000. What they're trying to do is set up a coup in Greenland so that the Greenland people will try to secede from Denmark. It will not work.
No,
You
no.
know, so they can invest all the money they want in Greenland, but guess what? It's going to blow up in their face, and they're going to end up Trump and the people that are trying to buy Greenland. Guess what? It's going to blow up in their face, and they're going to lose a lot of money. So,
Yeah, I have a friend whose fiance is from I think she's from the Netherlands, and she talks about in that area, and she's like there is nobody in that part of the world all around there that want to have anything to do with this man. That's how hated he is.
right.
And so, yeah, I don't see that happening.
Todd Brown says, bright spot of Senator Slotkin dropped universal health care bill today. Yay. She's shaping up well in the Senate. Yay.
Yay! You go, Senator Slotkin.
We have another super. Did I put the super sticker up? I don't know if I did. I think
I
I
don't
did.
think we did.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
Um,
Feeding
Amy,
lots of hungry folks today. There's Amy.
there's my Amy. Hi, Amy. Amy and I are going to be doing a show together in the near future. Amy's,
Yay!
Amy's a wonderful psychic, so I would suggest getting a reading from her. So, hi, Amy.
Very, very accurate. Very, very accurate.
Good. Yep. And a wonderful human being to boot.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you see Jocelyn Benson, Chris Swanson, Kevin Hogan, or Marnie Sawicki winning for governor in Michigan? They're the Democratic choices this year. All I can tell you is I see a Democrat winning.
Yeah. Yeah. For those states that have had a strong Democratic governor, I don't see them flipping back around to a Republican because they're able to look at their neighbors who do have Republican governors and be like, oh my God, how can you live under that? They're stripping you of everything. I mean, I'm down here in a red state. Now, the last 8 years, we had a Democratic governor. Now, he was a very conservative Democrat, but he brought a lot of good things to the state. People were starting to move out of poverty level and starting to move up the ladder. He had really good big businesses that were starting to move in. He was working at improving education levels and whatnot. And uh, he termed out after his second term, and we got MAGA Monster in. And I mean, his first action as governor was to say that, yeah, we can't do the free breakfast lunch thing for kids anymore. That's a bridge too far for us. And he cut the program.
Right.
This is a program that's paid for 100% by the federal government. It did not cost the state anything. All the state had to pay was 50% of the administrative cost of running the program. But oh no, that was too much for them, you know.
Mark Bryce, the boy, said Trump in Detroit went over like a lead balloon. Somebody in the comments, in the private comments here, says, I love this. It says, attention other countries. Please feel free to kidnap our leader. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Angel Rivera. Hello, Angel Rivera. Hello, Sherry and Mel. I Googled last night about the final question pertaining to Zorro Ranch. It's located in New Mexico. Apparently, it's mentioned on the Epstein files. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it's got something to do with what all went on with Epstein and his stuff, and I don't have enough information on it to even form a good question for it. So I'd rather wait until I can do a little research on it so that then I
Right.
know how to formulate my questions to ask to learn more.
It says Moore says, "Hi, Mel and Shari. Will 45 be prevented from going into Greenland?" My feeling is Congress will tell him he can't, but just like he gives a middle finger to the courts, he would give a middle finger to Congress. I see people there's going to be a lot more people in Congress, in the House and the Senate, saying we don't want this anymore. But we're done, right? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, here, we've already talked about this. It won't spark violence. It'll spark protest if they charge Good's wife. But I saw the video. Good's wife didn't do anything wrong. They're trying to intimidate. They're trying to intimidate people. If you speak up to us, here's what we're going to do to you, and it's not going to work.
The only flashes I've gotten where there is violence from our side, and by our side, I mean those of us who are not members of the Nazi regime, are when they attempt to start taking guns. And that's
we're going to try that too.
That's coming really soon, y'all. I'm feeling like that's going to happen within the next 3 to 9 months.
And they were the first ones to say that the Democrats were trying to take away people's rights.
They've been screaming that for decades. And Dems are coming for your guns.
Everything they've screamed about, guess what? And
that's what they're doing.
Oh, individual rights, this and that. Rather than, giving people individual rights, they've taken them away.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling that what's George Conway, Kellyanne Conway's
ex-husband.
I see him. I didn't like his politics, but I do watch Lincoln Project. I see him running for Senate and winning. So yay! I'd vote for him.
Well could be. I watched Steve Smith. He was the one who was working on McCain's campaign that found Sarah Palin and brought her in. And I've heard him say repeatedly ever since that was the worst mistake he ever made in his life.
Well, that started this whole ball rolling with this, Tea Party that was the MAGA. And now he's saying, make Venezuela great again, make this great again, make that great again.
Yeah.
That rhetoric's going to fly right out the friggin' window. Maxie Poole says, today an officer posted a short on YouTube concerning ICE and Renee Good. Will she suffer consequences for doing so? Yeah, they're going to say that they're investigating her, the federal government, but I think that she's hoping that they bring it on because she's going to get a good lawyer lined up. And here again, the courts are going to say, again, that people have the right to criticize the government or law enforcement without fear of reprisal from them. So we're going to see the Trump administration trying to take away a lot more of our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And this is where the Supreme Court is
possibly even succeeding with taking away a few more rights.
Well, it'll look that way, but as I said, I see 2 justices impeached, one and then another one resigning before it happens. But I got a feeling, like you said, Shari, they're going to visit this presidential immunity thing very soon and say no, he does not have complete immunity.
Yeah, I think the Chief Justice Roberts, I think he, just from some things that he has actually said publicly, and he's very circumspect about what he says publicly, but he's made a few comments here in the past few weeks that make me think that he's seriously starting to regret their decision of going along with this. And I get a really strong feeling like he's not only ashamed of himself for going along with it, but that he realizes that he has basically destroyed his own legacy that he's worked so hard to build.
Yeah.
And his name's going to be mud.
Kim Johnson said, "Hi, Mel and Shari. Do you see a major medical issue for Trump in the next month?" I think within the next 3 months, I do. This one's a good one. Go ahead, Shari.
Yeah, that rings true for me. I got the chills with that one. I would say in the next 2 to 5 months. That's what I'm getting. So
Okay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Yogranul. Hi, Mel and Shari. How will the things go between the Orange and Machado? They're supposed to meet with each other at the White House tomorrow. She's the vice president under Maduro, and she's in office down there now, a Trump puppet. But
yeah,
I see, that general that was a spy that gave Trump all the information about where Maduro was and what he was doing. I see other generals saying, no, we don't want Trump here. We don't want American interests controlling our oil. We
yeah,
want to control our own oil. And I see those generals are going to stage an overthrow of Machado, a coup d'etat. And I see them putting in the rightfully elected president, the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize.
yeah,
So, I think Trump's going to tell her, you have to do what I want or else we'll do to you what we did to, what's his name? Did you hear today, Shari, that Trump was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize? I wonder who put his name in. Probably he put his name in.
for somebody that owed him a favor.
He's not going to get it,
No.
and then what's going to happen is he's going to get mad at Norway because he didn't get it. And then the person that did get it, he's going to try to go against them. That's probably why he went after Venezuela, because the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize was a Venezuelan.
Well, and I mean, and I don't know if everybody really realizes why it's such a big thing to him to get the Nobel Peace Prize, and that's because Obama got it.
Because you see how great I am. I got the Nobel Peace Prize. That means I brought peace. I didn't do anything. Now let me go invade a few more countries. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, it's where did it go?
Okay,
It's just so funny that
we've got time for
the one that starts stuff and then wants to get credit for ending stuff.
right. We've got time for a couple more questions here.
Okay.
One old crow 350 says the European Union is talking about putting together a coalition army and closing U.S. bases. What do you think? If Trump goes into Greenland and invades Greenland, yes, those countries will close U.S. bases and they won't expel U.S. visitors, like if we wanted to go visit those countries, but they would close the bases. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Key strategic bases for the U.S. So, and that's why Congress is going to get really, really nervous about it. Okay. How long before ICE is under control? When Trump is gone. But I see a lot of those ICE agents that have perpetuated violence against innocent citizens. They're going to have to pay the piper, and many of them are going to be arrested and prosecuted. That's what I see. Okay.
Yeah.
We got time for one more. Here we go. Cat Nana Bigwigs. Hi, Mel and Shari. Will the lawsuit against ICE in Minneapolis get them out of there? If not, will other cities be invaded? Oh, other cities will be invaded, yes.
But a lot of the other cities are already preemptively putting laws into place that's going to curtail ICE by making it mandatory that law enforcement cannot have masks on their face, that they must have body cams not only being worn but turned on and fully activated. There's quite a few law enforcement rules that regular police have to follow, um, that ICE has not had to follow, that there are already states putting that into effect. So that if they come showing up, goose stepping their way into your city with their faces covered and whatnot, there's a real good chance you're going to have the local police department meeting them, saying you're all under arrest. And I think that's what it's going to take for some of them
It will. It
to get
absolutely
it
will.
through their heads that they can't just come in and bully people. Their masks are not there to protect them anymore. That's what's going to
And the
get their.
court will uphold local law enforcement in the states that passed the anti-mask laws for law enforcement. You know, some of those same people that during COVID, "Oh, I don't have to wear a mask." You know, now they want to wear a mask, but it's not about getting a disease. It's about to hide their identity. Can't
Mhm.
There's going to be transparency. And if these people, a lot of them have felony backgrounds, and they're going to say, look, even if Trump pardoned them, they're not, police officers do not behave this way. Okay.
Probably a good 80% of ICE would not pass the screening
Oh,
for
no,
your local police department.
it wouldn't. Okay, Raymond De Pasquale says, how will Jack Smith's publicly testimony go on January 22nd? Oh, well,
Well, it's going to be amazing.
there's going to be even some Republicans that will ask him very positive questions. There will be a few MAGAs, like, you know, the old hardcore ones, MAGAs, that'll try to rip him apart, but he's not going to cave in. But I got a funny feeling, Sherry, that Trump is going to try something else within the next week or two around
Oh, absolutely.
around January 22nd to take the public eye off Jack Smith's testimony so that all of the news outlets will be reporting something over here. But but I see his testimony being explosive, and even though Trump will try something like that, a lot of news outlets will talk about his testimony. CBS might not, they'll downplay it, as well as Fox, but the other networks are going to be on it like white on rice.
Well, and that's once we get rid of this regime and we get rid of all of the really bad Republican House and Senate members, we clean house in our own house and get rid of all of the very inactive Democratic House and Senate. I've been seeing us finally enacting rules and enacting laws that will prevent the monopolization of our airwaves.
Yeah.
Just like they did to Ma Bell back in, what was it, the 70s, when
More
they
like
broke her up.
more like the fair doctrine coming back, equal time.
Right. That's right. I mean, it used to be that you could only own 3 media companies within a certain established, location. You couldn't own more than 3 of them, and then even then it had to be diversified. And so they got rid of that fairness doctrine, and that's when you started seeing the mass buyouts of all
I
of
see the
these.
fairness doctrine coming back, actually.
Yeah. Not just coming back, but coming back a lot stronger.
Bingo.
We got time for another one?
This one, I forgot to mention Androniki. Thank you, Andrew, for your product.
Very much.
I did the whole treatment on my face today, and boy, my skin feels great. So
You did the mask?
I didn't use the mask because I've been at my work all day. I did all the moisturizer and all 7 serums, mix them on my hand, put them on my face. It's not going to bring the bank to order the products. So Andro, ANDRO dash Nikki, NIKI.com.
NIKI.com.
Go for it.
Yes, I have several people at work that I turned on to Andoniki, and they love it. I mean, absolutely love it.
Everybody that I've turned on to it loves it. It's great stuff. Hi, Mel
Yeah,
and Shari, Bold North, BKA. You've stated in other sessions that there will be other incidents with ICE. Yes, there will be, unfortunately. And I see, and I pray I'm wrong, more innocent people being seriously injured by ICE. But it's just going to make people that much more strong on making sure that we get rid of the tyranny and this fake police department, this Gestapo.
yeah,
Will this occur in Minnesota? Yes, there will be more acts in Minnesota. We in Minnesota are exhausted. Well, I'll say it this way: when Putin invaded Ukraine, the Ukrainians were exhausted too. They're exhausted now, but they're continuing to fight
yeah,
because they want to be autonomous and they're fighting for their country's survival and for their democracy. So
absolutely.
just because we get exhausted, it's a horrible thing to be exhausted, but we can't use that as an excuse just to stop fighting and to stop standing up for what's right and just. We can be
Exactly.
exhausted, but we can still regroup, still have our voices heard, and still say, wait a minute, it's up to each one of us to speak up and do what we need to do to save our democracy and to get rid of the tyranny in
Absolutely.
this country. So that's
Absolutely.
that's how I'll share.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think we might start seeing some real cracks in ice. First, you got to crack it before you can see it shelve off, right? Is when they try to pull some of that stunt in red states. Right now, they're busy bullying all the blue states, but eventually they're going to run out of blue states. And it's like feeding a monster. You got to have more and more and more and more. They're going to start hitting the red states, y'all. So
Jill
just,
Trilling says $10. Thank you for your FYI. All over 740,000 people die since USA was taken by Doge. Will that program come back? Yes, it
yes,
will come back. And a lot of the people that like certain people whose names I won't mention that we know who did the Doge thing, they're going to be tried for crimes against humanity. Letting people starve.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, 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 here's one more. I keep saying one more, but Ballot Mom says Tennessee's governor just agreed to allow death camps in the state. Will this push through? And if it does, will they get off scot-free for the cruelty? No, they will not. And I see that being challenged in court. And the courts will say, no, you can't do that.
It's happening down here in Louisiana, too.
Well, the guy
We
in
got a
Louisiana,
governor that is gung ho to let's, yeah, bring them down here. It's like,
well,
yeah, no,
because they've got their hands in the till because they want to get some money.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Shari, you take care of yourself. Um,
I will. I will. Thank you for asking me to
Thank
come
you
on and sit on this side of the camera with you tonight.
for filling in. Make yourself a good hot toddy. I'm going to run. I'm still at my office. And
Yes, absolutely.
and
And I'll buzz Colleen and see if we can get us a round robin, maybe tomorrow or something, uh, for the other side of the coin. I went completely blank on what I was saying. It just went right out my brain. I'm
Here.
tired. I need,
all
I
right,
need
so stay well. Everybody stay well, stay safe. Don't let the fear stand in front of you and hold you back. Let it get
Let
behind
it
you.
get behind you and push you forward. There
Here
you
you
go.
All right. Let me.
That's my tag on all my emails is I've got you quoted. You go out all the time. I get people saying, who's that Mel Dory you're always quoting? I'm like, he's a very good friend of mine.
Let's try this. Okay. Oops.
In stream,
Oh,
in
I don't
stream.
know. Hold on.